Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games and to part 4 of our How to Play Warcry series. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll go through how to set up a battle. This part 4 of our How to Play Warcry series will explain how to set up a battle between two warbands. When you've learnt the core rules and work your way through the core book, you'll notice that there are extra rules that detail how to play battles with more than 2 players, and also rules that detail a special kind of battle known as a convergence. Don't worry about those rules for now, because for most games of Warcry, you're only going to need the rules that we cover in this How to Play Warcry series. I will be doing extra videos later on that do delve into these though, so look out for those coming soon. First thing we need to go through when setting up our battle is the battlefield. Warcry battles are fought on a battlefield, and this can be any flat surface on which the fighters can stand. Warcry battlefield mats are 22 inches in width and 30 inches in length, and the battle plan cards are designed to work especially well with these battlefield mats, but any flat surface that's roughly 22 by 30 inches will be suitable. If a rule refers to the battlefield floor, this includes only the flat surface the battle is played upon and not any of the terrain features. For example, if a rule requires an objective to be placed on the battlefield floor, it cannot be placed on a terrain feature. You'll also see some rules referring to just the battlefield. This battlefield includes both the battlefield floor and the terrain features. Once we've got a battlefield, the next thing we need to go through is our warbands, and each player in a Warcry battle controls a warband of fighters. When first setting up the battle, the players each muster their warband and they have to adhere to the following 4 rules. Number 1. The warband must include at least 3, but no more than 15 fighters. Number 2. The combined points value of all the fighters in a player's warband cannot exceed 1,000. Rule number 3. All fighters in a player's warband must share the same faction rune mark. Finally, rule number 4. The warband must include 1 fighter with the leader rune mark, but it cannot include more than 1 fighter with the leader rune mark. As we talked about in part 3 of our How to Play Warcry series, there are times when you may have more than 1 fighter with the leader rune mark in your warband. These exceptions come into play when we expand past these core rules and start to bring in allies and heroes, but we'll cover that in later videos, so don't worry about that for now. Once both players have mustered their warbands, they reveal their warbands to each other. This is the exciting time where you see who you're going to compete against on the battlefield. With our battlefield ready to go and our warbands assembled, now it's time to move on to the priority roll. At this point, the players now roll off. This is a really important roll off as it will determine who takes priority when setting up the battle. This roll off is referred to as the priority roll. With the priority roll established, now it's time to move on to the battle groups. Starting with the player who lost the priority roll, each player splits their warband up into 3 groups. These groups are called the dagger, the shield, and the hammer. Each one of these groups is referred to as a battle group, and each battle group must have at least 1 fighter and cannot have more than half the total of the fighters in the warband. In addition, at least 1/3 of the fighters in the warband, rounding up, must be in the shield. If we use our Scions of the Flame as an example, you'll see that we have 8 fighters. If we divide our 8 fighters by 3, we end up with 2.66, so rounding that up, we know that the minimum amount of fighters we have to put in the shield is 3, and the maximum will be half of our warband, which will be 4. The minimum we can put in the dagger and hammer battle group is 1, and the maximum we can put is the number that equals half of our warband, which in this case is 4. If we put 3 fighters in the shield, then this gives us a few options. We can place 1 in the dagger and 4 in the hammer, or we can place 2 in the dagger and 3 in the hammer, or we can place 3 in the dagger and 2 in the hammer, and finally we could choose to put 4 in the dagger and just 1 in the hammer. Alternatively, we can put half of our warband in the shield, so if we put 4 in the shield, that would leave 4 remaining for the dagger and the hammer, and we can split those up however we like. As long as we follow the rule that we must have at least 1 fighter in a battle group and no more than half the total fighters. Now we've got our battlefield ready to go and our warbands all mustered and split up into their battle groups, it's time to look at the battle plan, and we'll cover that in part 5 of our How to Play Warcry series. I hope you found this video helpful. Please join in and comment below with any thoughts or additions you'd like to make. It'd be great to hear from you. The next video in the series will play right after this one in the playlist, and I'll also put links in the description below to every video in the series. Thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more Warcry content like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.